December 25th has always played an important role in my life. Sherry was born on December 25th, and when she was a child, every year on Christmas Day, her mother would take her to New York's Rockefeller Center and show her the beautiful tree with all the lights ablaze, and explain to Sherry that it was put there in honor of her birthday. It's not easy living with someone who grew up thinking that they were Jesus Christ. But this day of December 25th, 2021 has its own special meaning. This is the last sermon I deliver as the senior rabbi of the Beth Tefillah congregation. And sermonically, it couldn't have happened on a better day. Today's Torah portion begins a new chapter, a new book in the life of our people, and indeed involves a changing of the guard for our people, with Moshe becoming the leader. History has shown that Moshe had a pretty good run for 40 years. I've had a run of 44 years as your rabbi, so I really can't complain. But I have to tell you, if you came to hear my farewell address, you're going to be disappointed, because I ain't going nowhere. For the next 4 years, I will continue to speak once a month, and on holidays, and on the high holidays, and teach classes, participate in life cycle events, do the weekly Parsha preview, and sort of serve as Rabbi Posner's assistant. Moshe eventually stepped aside because God told him he had to. I did not hear a voice from God. I didn't even receive an email or a text from our board of directors telling me it was time to go. So why am I doing it? 2 reasons. One, because of me. A few weeks ago, Rabbi Posner mentioned to me how much he had enjoyed making hospital visits with me, watching me joyously skip and run down the hall from patient to patient. In case you haven't noticed, I don't skip or run anymore. I have a bit of trouble even walking from the parking lot to the hospital. I ain't what I used to be. But the truth of the matter is, it ain't so bad. When I hear and see the physical problems of others, I thank God for the shape I am in. As far as my mind goes, I've got to be honest. I no longer remember any of your names. And I think of a story about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the theologian's father, who was a doctor and one of the early disciples of Freud. When he got to be 70, he retired from teaching and from taking patients. And when they asked him why, he said, "Now I can tell that I am slipping and they can't. If I stay on too long, then they'll be able to tell that I'm slipping, and I won't be able to tell." That's a real concern that many people have. Perhaps they're slipping. Better to retire before it becomes too obvious. I really have to tell you, I don't think it's too obvious on me. I may not remember your names, but I remember exactly how much you have given to our Centennial campaign. And I remember a lot of other things. Sometimes I'm astounded how well my mind keeps working. And that's a major reason why I felt a need to step aside. I feel as if my mind never stops working. I feel as if 24 hours a day, even when I am asleep, my mind is working, thinking about the next sermon, the next B'nai Mitzvah charge, the next eulogy, the next speech. It never stops. I lie in bed and I read for hours. I go on vacation and write high holiday sermons. I talk to my brothers and my friends like Rabbi Jack Reamer and Benny Blech. And we talk about ideas to share and use. My mind needs a rest. I've got to stop it for a while. It can be exhausting and it takes a toll over the years. When people ask me what I am now going to do, I tell them that's the whole point. I'm not going to do. That's what it means that I now have free time. My mind will be free. I know it won't last, but let me enjoy it for a while. So if my first reason for stepping aside is because of me, my second reason is because of you. Let me explain. 3 times in the book of Devarim, Moshe reflected on the event that was the greatest single disappointment in his life, his not going to lead the people to the promised land. And each time he uses the same key phrase. The Lord was angry with me for your sakes, saying you shall not go in there. Later Moshe said, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and said to me, let it be, speak no more to me of this matter. And still later it says, how the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and swore that I should not go over the Jordan. For your sakes, for your sakes, and for your sakes. 3 times the same phrase appears so that we may understand why God issued his verdict, and eventually Moshe and Aaron came to realize and understand that what at first seemed so cruel and so unfair really wasn't. A new age demanded new leaders with fresh energy and new vision. And therefore, if Moshe and Aaron really loved their people, then they had to let them go for their sake. If you love your people and you care about them, then you have to let go so that they can have a new leader, one who will be better able to deal with the new age and the new challenges. Sure, physically I have changed over the years, but I can live with it. The real issue is you have changed. The world has changed. The Jewish world has changed. When I started as your rabbi in 1978, people said they feared we would go with the flow and become conservative. Now, in 2021, people fear that Rabbi Posner will go with the flow and become more orthodox. It's a changing neighborhood out there. You need a younger rabbi who can identify and relate to Generation X and Z. I don't know the difference between the two. I don't know the difference between a delta and a variant, between a Karen and a sheesh, between doing an emoji and a meme. I'm not even sure if I'm binary or non-binary. All I know is the left is meshuggah and the right is dangerous. And I can't even say that without upsetting some of you. I was never politically correct and sometimes was inappropriate. These days I can be canceled because of that. You need a rabbi with new ideas and new perspectives, with fresh energy and new vision. Like Moshe, I am blessed. Moshe could let go because he was letting go to Yehoshua, and he knew that his people were going to be in good hands. It's interesting, if you read carefully in the Torah, God tells Moshe to transfer the leadership to Yehoshua, v'samachta et yadcha alav, by placing his hand on him. But then the Torah tells us Moshe placed both hands on him. Moshe transferred the leadership with both hands, with a full heart, because he knew Yehoshua was an exemplary character and ability. I hear he's not a Wohlberg. Thank God for that. I was not a Rosenblatt. That's why it worked. Changing times brings changing needs. It's not always easy for people to accept the change for the leader they've known most of their lives. For many Americans, President Roosevelt was president for so long that they could not imagine a government without him. President seemed to be like his first name. When he died, Harry Truman said to Mrs. Roosevelt, "You have my sympathies." And she answered, "And you have mine." Rabbi Posner does not have to worry, because I'm giving over to him the greatest gift possible. I'm giving him you. What an incredible group of people you all are. And you don't even realize it. Think of the issues Moshe had to deal with regarding the Jewish people. They complained about the water. They complained about his leadership. They rebelled with Korach. They criticized his wife. They said he wants to go back to Egypt. They complained about the food. They built a golden calf to replace him. One problem after another. And me and you, I know of no rabbi, no congregation that has had a more caring, respectful, accepting, and appreciative relationship than all of you with me. And you can throw in with Cantor Albrecht and Rabbi Yogev and Rabbi Wecker as well. That's what I'm giving Rabbi Posner. And as for Rabbi Posner, I'll save my words about him for his installation. But for now, I have something to give him besides you. Times are changing. The image of the rabbi is changing. The needs of a community are changing. And Rabbi Posner, like many other Orthodox rabbis have done, you might have to start wearing a black hat. I hope not. But if you do, let me give you mine. With both my hands and with genuine appreciation for what you have meant to me and what you have given me, I give you, with both hands, my black hat, and I embrace you as the Rabbi of the Beth Tefillah congregation.